second thing we did this week is create an out-of-bounds effect with this dolphin picture. So I'm going to recreate this here. Again, I start by right-clicking on my background layer and duplicating it. Click OK. Disable the background layer, make sure I am on the second layer here. Next step, I am going to create a new layer on which I'm going to draw a frame. So I get my rectangular marquee tool, I draw a rectangle, I right-click inside the rectangle and select stroke. From here I can make the width as many pixels as I want. I can click on the color and select the color that I want, click OK and OK, and this will give my selection a stroke. So Command D to deselect. With my move tool I can choose to move this around wherever I want it to be. Then I can go to the edit menu, transform and scale first because I want to make this a bit smaller, and this is a case where it's okay to distort. Okay, I hit enter to apply the transformation, and the second transformation I'm going to do is add some perspective to my box. So I'm adding a bit of perspective there, hitting enter to apply. I'm going to move it a bit. I'm using just the arrows on my keyboard to move this around. I'm going to leave it there. Next step, I'm going to zoom in here so that I will delete this part of the line that goes over the dolphin. The eraser tool here is going to do the job for me. I'm going to make this a bit smaller, and I'm going to just brush over the part of the line that I want to delete. Command 0 to fit in the screen again. Now my next step is I want to remove the background of this picture and just leave the water inside the frame and the head of the dolphin. So I'm going to make a mask. Click to get into masking mode, select the brush. Now I am not going to use the brush to draw over all this area, brush over all this area, because that would take quite a lot of time and there is an easier way to do it. So I'm going to select my polygonal lasso tool and I'm going to click on the four corners of this rectangle. I'm trying to click somewhere in the middle so I don't leave any empty space or grab more. Now that I have this selected, if I get my bucket, and you might not be able to see the bucket if the gradient tool is in front, so if you see this tool first, click and hold and then select the paint bucket. Now if I click inside the selection, it fills it with this masking color. Command D to deselect, go back to the brush, and now add this part of the picture to your selection, the dolphin's head. Make my brush smaller, add the beak here. Okay, if I make a mistake, I switch to white and I delete with white. When you paint with white, you're actually deleting. Once I'm happy with my selection, I click to get out of the quick mask mode. Now everything else is selected. Now, before I actually go and create a mask to remove the background, I need to check here that I am on the right layer. So I shouldn't be on layer 1 where the frame exists on this layer. I want to remove the background from this layer where the dolphin is. So now I am on the right layer. Layer menu, layer mask. I want to hide my selection. So now my selection is hidden. Next steps, if I want to add a background, I add a new layer. I bring it below the dolphin. I add the color I want. So if I wanted to have a specific color, I choose it. I get the paint bucket, I click, and this fills it with this color. If I wanted white, I could just select white and again click and fill with white. If you want to add a shadow, start with a new layer so that you have a transparent layer. Grab a color, let's say black, grab a brush and say roughly that would be kind of a shape for a dolphin shadow. It will look better in a moment. Just fill it with color. Even if you don't get the shape perfect the first time, it's okay. As you see, this is far from perfect because you have the opportunity to fix it. So let's say this is what you start with. Step 1, filter menu, blur, Gaussian blur, take this up, something like around 50 pixels for this size is okay. I click OK. Next step, the opacity of my layer, bring it down to something like, let's say 60%, and then I'm going to go to my transform menu and distort, and this way I can really change a bit the way this shadow looks. So when I'm happy with my transformation, hit enter and I have added a shadow. Now if I want to crop this so that it's a bit better, I can just select the cropping tool, hit enter when I'm happy, and I can have my out of bounds dolphin picture.